Welcome back to the Relationships Made Simple for Men podcast with me, Bryce Bauer. Today, I'm going to be answering the question, can you be too nice? I've been hearing more and more men refer to themselves as nice guys. And the idea behind it is that this gets them into trouble. So it's a valid question. Can you be too nice? My answer, just like with a lot of things, is that it depends. And it mostly depends on how you're defining nice. Think about Jesus, for example. He seemed like a really nice guy. He spent his whole life helping people. He did flip over those tables that one time. But even in that moment when he's getting nailed to a cross, what does he say? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's about as nice as it gets. There is so much wisdom in this story. This guy had mastered compassion. And that's something that a lot of us are striving to do because it feels better than feeling resentful and frustrated and angry. We understand at some level that there's another side to the story. Someone else is having their own experience. They have their own fears and insecurities. They make mistakes. And part of what helps with compassion is not taking everything so damn personally. The world doesn't revolve around us. The world is not out to get us. And people's motivations to do or not do things is more about them than it is us. So if we define nice as having compassion and wisdom, or in a sense, accepting reality as it is and all the people in it, then being nice is good for us. It's good for the world. And we can't be too nice. However, when I think guys are talking about being nice and it not working out for them, nice guys finish last, what they're really talking about is being boundaryless, living in a masked state, trying to perform to get people to like them and accept them. That tends to burn us. And one of the reasons that it burns people is that when we do this, we create covert contracts with people in our minds. One common example is that if I do things for you, if I'm nice to you, then you have to do things for me and you have to be nice to me. We don't say this to the person, but we expect it. But if this person doesn't return our calls, they don't help us move, they seem to feel annoyed by us, our covert contract is broken and we're pissed off. Maybe I actually didn't want to help you move, but I did it anyway because I'm a nice guy. Now I feel taken advantage of. Or in marriage, I work really, really hard to bring in money and provide things, and I expect you to be happy with me and appreciate me and have sex with me. But when you say, I'm tired, or you need more help around the house, or you don't feel connected to me, contract is broken. As the man, you're confused, frustrated, resentment can build. A lot of guys I talk to are perplexed by this because it seems so common sense. And maybe this is the way that your relationship was set up for a while. It wasn't explicit, but it was understood. We came into the relationship playing different roles, and it worked until it didn't. Men especially fail to understand what happens in relational development. I'll give you an example. All of us are being conditioned in some way, for better or for worse, to be who our parents think we should be, who society thinks we should be. That's a natural part of our process. And when we become adults, we begin to explore a relationship with somebody else, our conditionings come into contact. For most people, they have ideas about what it means to be a good husband and a good wife or good partners. So at the beginning of the relationship, we present our best, oxytocin is flowing. There's usually more time and attention paid to the relationship. These two people begin to sync up and imagine a life for themselves. And then, as all of you know, things don't always go as planned. There's an unexpected event, financial and parenting stress, health issues, or you start to run into some of your irreconcilable differences. These differences might be lifestyle, hobbies, humor, politics, religion, how we spend money, how we like to clean, how we relate to our nuclear family. The list goes on. So anyways, that happens and there's conflict. And whenever there's conflict, there's strategy. So what will happen is some of our childhood strategies that we developed will start to present themselves. People on the more anxious side might lean in, try to fix, do all the work, set expectations, feel disappointed, stuff like that. People that are more avoidant may start to avoid their partner, avoid responsibility, shut down, blame their partner for wanting too much, stuff like that. Now, that's all part of the process. Long-term committed relationship will bring this stuff up. The issue is that people often don't have the tools to develop themselves individually and as a couple. So they get stuck in these patterns. The patterns can get worse. And the longer it goes on, the more safety and security can erode, or couples will start to drift apart and just do their own thing. This creates a new pattern that works in its own way for us as individuals, but it doesn't build connection. So here's the part that men don't seem to understand. If your partner is actively developing themselves, finding their voice, expressing more needs, asking for more from you, that's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean she's trying to reject you. It means she's calling on you to grow with her. A lot of guys see this as a threat, but it's not. Where did all these needs come from? Why are you all of a sudden wanting more? Guys, this is a part of the process. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You cannot put your relationship on autopilot and coast through life. That's like trying to put your health on autopilot and coast through life. Well, I watched my diet and worked out for a couple of years, so now I'm good. That's not how it works. You have to maintain what you're doing while also adapting to the changes in your life and body. It's the same with relationships. You have to work to maintain what you have, at least, and then you have to adapt and learn new ways to continue to grow even more. So how does this relate to the nice guy stuff? I'll bring it all the way back to the beginning. Usually, when you're trying to find a partner, one of the things we want to do to help them feel comfortable and safe and attracted is to be nice, to give them attention, to do nice things for them, to show that we're available, we're willing, we want a relationship. And in a lot of cases, that improves our chances that she's going to choose us. Then at some point, there's the first conflict stage. This is where it can get interesting. If your strategy is to bottle things up at home and at work, with your parents, with your friends, and just try to please everybody, you're going to miss meeting your own needs. You're going to get burnt out, and you're either going to implode or explode or both. And most likely, your partner is going to feel the brunt of that. You might get depressed, freak out, lose control of your anger. It's going to make things worse. And the intuitive thing to do, because most people are not taught any different, is to point the finger outward. You're asking too much of me. You don't appreciate me. You don't care about me. And then some people will end up doing this thing where they're like, I'm done being nice. Now I'm going to be mean. Obviously, that doesn't work. So what can we do instead? Instead of overextending ourselves, not tracking our own feelings and needs, and pendulum swinging from the nice guy to the mean guy, what we have to do is pause and first self-reflect on how we got here. This may be a deep, deep wound, man. Maybe your parents expected a lot. So you felt like you had to continually pretend that you're happy and you had to work hard in school because you feared that your parents would reject you. That's not your fault that it went that way. You were a child. But it's now your responsibility to look at how this strategy is impacting your relationship. Maybe you do need to stand up for yourself more, say no to some things, and actually work on your own healing. Maybe it's time to open up and tell your partner about what you went through and why it is so hard to change this pattern now. She wants to understand you, but if you've locked this part away, compartmentalized it, ignored it, whatever, she's just looking at a guy who's confused, and you're probably confusing her. You're all over the place. 1 minute you're super nice, and then you're mean. What the fuck is going on? That's your insecurity. That's your wound that you have to deal with. Sure, she might trigger it. She's got her own work to do too. But don't focus on that so much. Focus on you. If you can be in relationship with her more and more in a regulated state where you understand yourself, then you'll be able to truly be the right kind of nice, that's wise and kind and compassionate, not fake nice. That's probably the best way to describe the two types of nice. You know, when you're with somebody and it just seems like they're being a bit fake, they're being nice, but it doesn't seem genuine or authentic. It seems like they're trying to get something from you or get you to see them in a certain way. That's fake nice. However, you can probably tell when someone is genuinely being kind to you. They seem like they have themselves. They can even say no to you, and you can feel that niceness, that authenticity. I don't know about you, but I trust people more who say no sometimes very clearly and directly than people that just say yes to everything. I'm confused by their motives. I don't know if they're doing something because they actually want to do it or they think that they just should. So, all that to say, I don't think you can be too nice if you're being authentically nice, kind, compassionate. But if you're going for fake nice, playing the Mr. Nice guy to get something out of it, people are going to pick up on that. And that probably comes from your childhood. Remember to like, subscribe, share if you like what I have to say, and I'll see you next week.